Back. The gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Raskin, is now recognized.
Madam Chair, thank you very much. I remember when the committee was considering creating the state and local fiscal recovery funds back in February of 2021, and there was a deluge of bipartisan demand from all over the country for this help. We heard from Democratic governors, we heard from Republican governors like the governor of my state, Governor Hogan. We heard from Republican mayors, we heard from Democratic mayors, corporations, labor unions, you name it. And they all described the immense challenges they were facing due to the economic and public health consequences of COVID-19, ranging from plummeting tax revenues across the board to government furloughs and layoffs at the state, county, and local level. Judge Moore, you're the president of the National Association of Counties, or you were at the time, and you helped lead the charge for this legislation. Why was there such unified support for the recovery funds coming from Republican and Democratic leaders alike? And was there anything partisan about this legislation in terms of how the money was distributed?
I would say that there were differences between our members, not just Republican and Democrat, but others, on whether spending should occur. Once we discovered that when the state and local aid, especially the local aid, was removed from the bill through several of the negotiations, the total amount, the $1.9 trillion, did not change. It was then that many conservatives, not all, but many conservatives, chose to support the state and local aid component of the bill. We didn't have a vote in Congress, but if the money was going to be allocated, we felt that direct aid to every county of every size was the way to go. So we locked arms and advocated for that if the funding was, if the bill passed, that local aid was a component of it. Counties chose to distribute that based on population across the country. We thought that was the most fair and equitable way to do it. Every county, every size received direct funding, and they were able to make the decisions at the local level. We believe in local control. We support local control, and thus,
and that provision in fact gave unprecedented decision-making authority to states and localities in the distribution and direction of funding where the communities needed it most. For example, in my district in Montgomery County, the funds helped to provide financial assistance to low-income working families. It supported the broadband infrastructure program and expanded the county's public health services. Frederick County plans to use recovery funds to expand broadband services to provide economic aid and improve infant maternal health, just to name a few examples. So do you believe that this flexibility in the allocation of the recovery funds, Judge Moore, contributed to the progress of our economic recovery?
yes, I would say that it has contributed to the economic recovery. It has been wonderful gap funding for those needs in our communities that otherwise would not have been funded. And my example, once again, getting 1 gig of speed to every home in our county would not be happening without these funds. We found during the pandemic that connectivity was so critical. So I do believe that it is creating jobs, it's creating economic investment, it's supplying a need that would not have been addressed without the funds.
Thank you. And Mayor Woodard, can you describe how flexibility in the eligible uses and distribution of the recovery money has helped your city?
Absolutely. I like the theme of the questions, because clearly giving us the opportunity to decide what's best. We're the ones who are on the ground every single day. We meet our residents in the grocery stores and at the gas station. So we clearly understand the need. So the ability to have flexible spending and to be able to pivot quickly on the ground has been incredibly important to us. I think about the fact that one of the things that we faced was we had to shut down an engine, a fire engine in our city. We were able to use ARPA dollars to recover that engine. That was so imperative for us, because in the midst of everything that was happening with COVID, we've had a string of arsons in our community. So being able to have that engine available and being able to pivot to see the importance of that was good for us and saved lives.
Forgive me for interrupting. I just want to say there are a lot of us who are former state officials and local officials who serve on this committee and in Congress. We are great champions of strategic and cooperative federalism. And I think that these provisions have exemplified what it means to actually get power, get control, and get money to the county and local governments closest to the needs of the people. I yield back to you, Madam Chair.